welcome to our Morning Throwers podcast.
I'm Nelson.
I'm Jeff.
I'm Glove.
I'm Kyle. And we're the fucking Morning Throwers.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Morning Throwers podcast, to possibly the shortest chapter that we've read so far, but maybe the most intriguing.
Yeah, you guys
You
are
know
probably
I'm
gonna
gonna
have...
love this one.
There's quite a bit of
If we're not careful, Nelson will talk for an hour here. So-
Most of what's in this chapter, I'm gonna make Kyle puzzle out because a lot of it, while it's like weird and foreshadowy, isn't really on spoilery stuff. It's on like, we'll see when we get there.
yeah, it's about people we already know about.
Like stuff that's happening right now.
Yeah. I mean, I think I saw a lot of that. I figured it out as it was going through. I'm sure you'll point out stuff I didn't. And I'm sure the spoiler section's probably going to be longer than the actual section. Because
That's how it normally is because I can talk.
Yeah, Nelson goes off on tangents.
Unfortunately,
Jeff gets mad at me.
Unfortunately, that's how it is.
I'm glad I'm not there for that now. Like, I used to think I was missing out, but...
I don't think anybody listens to that. I think everybody taps out after the part with you.
If
Everybody's
any
here
of our
for you,
viewers are
Kyle.
Smart. They leave.
Kyle's stealing the show, bro.
Yeah, well, I mean...
All right, well, so Kyle,
Main
what do you think of the
attraction,
chapter?
So it was pretty good. I mean, it was kind of what I expected. I saw Bran come up, and he was, last I knew, he was not dead, but he was dead. And you had to know he was going to wake up somewhat. Kind of.
Well, you had to know that.
What if he never woke
Yeah.
up? What if he actually died? Let's
in
just
the
think
books
about
he
that.
died, and that's just like a book show difference that they had off from the start.
Yeah.
Really would have thrown Kyle for a loop.
Yeah,
about
it would have, but there was too much that I knew about it that I didn't think it happened.
Yeah, so Jeff, how's it start off?
He's falling from the sky, like super high and from the sky, like almost at a unrealistic height. He
Like
said,
a atmospheric
Oh, yeah, for sure.
03 level height.
and he just hears a voice. He doesn't know where it's coming from. It's just saying "fly" to him, and he's like, "What the fuck's going on? Like, I'm just falling. Like, Master Lewin told me I'd fall, but I don't fall. I'm gonna." He knows this is a dream. I'm sorry. He knows this is a dream.
He knows a
Like,
dream. He thinks
I'm
about
waking
the clay
up.
pot.
It's not a
he's,
big deal.
He's gonna wake up when he lands, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna wake up before I hit the ground, so I'm not in danger. I know it always happens. And the guy's like, "Well, what if it doesn't this time?"
Yeah, the
Like-
crow's like, "You're gonna die when you hit the ground." Like straight up, he says, "You're gonna die if you hit the ground."
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah,
pretty
that's-
sweet. One cool thing is Bran's falling. This crow is falling with. He looks and realizes the voice is a crow, and the crow's falling with him.
Flying
And
with
he-
him.
Well, it's like falling, right? And then he pulls out
Falling
corn.
with
And have you ever
style.
seen
It
those
asked him
videos?
for corn.
Yeah, he asked for corn, and then Bran pulls out
And he
corn.
just
You ever
has
seen those
corn,
videos
yeah.
where somebody drops a tennis ball on like one of those roller coasters that goes into a free fall, and the tennis ball falls at the exact same speed as them? Because when you're in a free fall,
Terminal velocity.
most
It's
stuff
just
Yeah.
falls
gravity.
pretty close to the same speed. So Bran just like drops his corn, but it's just like falling in front of his face. It would look like he's in like zero gravity in this.
It will
crow's
probably
just
actually raise higher because of the wind resistance and all
like-
that.
Yeah, it's a dream though. So chill.
Yeah, come on,
Zero,
man.
He's
zero
a
gravity.
bit-
He's got to
boy.
figure it out.
He's a
It's
little
not
boy.
a dream.
Physicist
Or is it a
Glow
dream?
over here. He already said it was a dream.
Well, he
So
at least
the
thinks
crow-
it's a dream.
The crow's telling him to fly around, and crow's like, "Look how easy it is," and it just starts like flying around Bran, and Bran's like, "Well, you have wings," and
Yeah.
the crow says, "Maybe you do too," and then Bran starts like looking for legit wings, and he says some wings are different than other ones, and then Bran realizes he's like really skinny, just like skin and bones, and then he sees a golden face of like light come up through like it says he's like surrounded in a gray mist the whole time, and the golden face of light comes at him through the mist and says, "The things I do for love," and then Bran like screams.
He starts freaking out, starts remembering a little bit.
Yeah,
So that was Jamie then, right?
Jamie, that's what Jamie says right
Yeah.
before he pushes
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
But the crow's saying like not to work, like don't
Yeah,
worry
like
about that
that's
now.
not important. You need to fix what's going on here. You have more urgent things to deal with, essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
No crying, I said flying.
The crow's kind of great.
Next part kind of reminds me of Toy Story. It says, "What are you doing to me?" He asked the crow. What was the crow like? Pecking him maybe.
That's way in
And
the
he
end.
says, teaching you how to fly. He says, "I can't fly." He says, "You're flying right now." Bran says, "I'm falling." And the crow says, "Every flight begins with a fall."
Yeah, I just said
down.
the falling with style joke like
Exactly.
a minute ago.
Oh, I missed it.
I didn't
That's
hear it.
exactly Toy Story. Yeah.
Excuse me,
That's
guys,
exactly what
don't
I'm thinking
listen
with
to
Toy
me.
Story.
But no, it landed on Bran's shoulder and pecked at
Oh,
him.
Bran's on him. Peck's on him. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then it tells him to look down. And this is when Bran
Noticeably
looks
closer
down.
now. Noticeably closer. And start making out like
Yeah, yeah. You can start
you
seeing
can
Winterfell
make
and shit like
mountains
that.
and shit. Yeah, streams in the river or streams in the forest.
So
He
he
said
basically
can
looks
see
each
things
direction.
from Winterfell.
First he
he
looks at
sees
Winterfell,
people.
and then he looks in like all the cardinal directions. So it says he saw Winterfell as the eagles see it. The tall towers looking squat and stubby from above. The castle walls just lines in the dirt. He saw Maester Lewin on his balcony, studying the sky through a polished bronze tube and frowning as he made notes in a book. He saw his brother Robb, taller and stronger than he had remembered him, practicing swordplay in the yard with real steel in his hand. He saw Hodor, the simple giant from the stables, carrying an anvil to Micken's forge, hefting it onto his shoulders easily as another man might heft a bale of hay. At the heart of the godswood, the great white weirwood tree brooded over its reflection in the black pool, its leaves rustling in the chill wind. When it felt Bran watching, it lifted its eyes from the still waters and stared back at him knowingly. So that's what he sees when he sees like what's going on in Winterfell.
So it's obviously not a dream.
What do you mean?
What do you
Well, I
mean?
mean, he's looking at the current times here. Like
Current
Rob-
times, but so this potentially wouldn't be a dream because he's in Winterfell. But there's some other stuff that's current. Like the next one, he sees his mother on a ship.
Yeah, I know.
That's
what I'm
current, but
saying.
how would he like know about
Yeah.
any of that from?
But there's also
right
some
now?
very metaphoric things too. Don't like a
Yeah, I mean, he's knowing things here. This is more than a dream. This isn't just him making shit up.
Yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying. It's not just like bullshit
Yeah,
that your
yeah.
mind comes up with. Okay.
Yeah.
every dream isn't bullshit.
You have real. All your
I have.
dreams
I
happen?
swear to God, I have deja vu twice a day.
Clairvoyant Jeff.
How does that have anything to do with dreams?
Because I think I dreamed it before I actually.
No.
I swear to you. I'm
no,
I'm
look
almost
up
like,
deja vu and the meaning behind it.
dude.
Next time you dream
Alright,
the
whatever.
lottery
Maybe
numbers,
it's not deja vu, but I see shit all the time.
next time you dream about lottery numbers, give me a call.
All right, I will. And if we win, I get 75%.
Don't dream about numbers. If you look at like a clock or something in a dream, you don't see any numbers.
You don't know that. You don't know my dreams, Glow.
It's everybody. That's just a fact.
Glo,
No,
you don't
it's
have
not.
clairvoyant
Come on.
dreams like him. Like, let's be
Come on.
real, man. He's just special.
Yeah,
Don't.
I could have told you that.
He's blood of the Trojan.
Yeah, exactly.
Blood of the Trojan.
All right, so so main things he sees Lewin looking into the sky and frowning when he's writing what he sees. Robb with the actual sword, which is how we kind of know this is more present than past. Hodor carrying an anvil, and then the weirwood.
We don't know anything about Hodor carrying an anvil, though.
Hodor actually was mentioned in the previous Bran chapter for something.
Yeah, but
I
it
had him
wasn't
in my
I mean,
notes.
it had
about-
nothing to
This is
do
the
with
second mention.
Hodor doing
It
this.
wasn't like, oh, we need
So-
to get another anvil to the
so I think
blacksmith. We need
this-
to make more shit.
This is where my
We need another anvil stat.
some spoilers come in. I think this is foreshadowing that he's going to be carrying Bran around here.
Okay, that's probably good foreshadow.
Yeah.
Considering what we know at the end of this chapter with Bran and how
Yeah.
strong Hodor is here. Okay, so the next thing he looked east and saw a galley racing across the waters of the Bight. He saw his mother sitting in a cabin, alone in a cabin, looking at a bloodstained knife on a table in front of her, as the rowers pulled at their oars and Sir Roderick leaned across the rail, shaking and heaving. A storm
Puking
was
Sir Rod.
gathering ahead of them.
Look, I love that he's seasick.
Yakking off the side.
A storm was gathering ahead of them, a vast dark roaring lashed by lightning, but somehow they could not see it.
So
So
headed into a mess.
my first crazy mystery of this chapter, or of this part, is why would this knife still be bloodstained? Like, they didn't clean it
Yeah, I
off.
was thinking that too.
They're gonna do some DNA testing on it. What do you mean?
I think that just has to be like the dream part added that in. Like,
Grand
Yeah,
Maester,
maybe
Grand,
they
no
didn't
way.
clean it off.
Yeah, I don't know
Grand
why.
Maester Pycelle is gonna do some fucking DNA testing. We're gonna figure this bullshit out.
I don't think that DNA test
Maybe
is
just to
blood.
prove that it was used in
Used,
a yeah.
Against her hands? I don't know.
Yeah, you could just like stab you could stab a pig as you're like, if you're trying to use it as proof, you could stab a pig on the way into
I
the
mean, here's the
jury
thing. It's all hearsay, anyway. It's not like they have video evidence of
Exactly.
this guy attacking her. It could have been her slitting her own hands and framing somebody.
Exactly. So
It's
that
all
proof
hearsay.
is bullshit reason for that. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, maybe
Okay,
it just
but
looks cooler covered in blood, and she likes it like that.
So this is.
I don't
Maybe
know. What do
it's
you want?
period blood.
So this
Well,
is.
Come on, Jeff.
Yeah, that's
But this
So
is
much,
like the
man.
first, like the impressive part, like where we start to get impressive. Because the first stuff was Winterfell. Okay, maybe he's like just like not really
hearing
coma,
parts of it
deep sleep,
around.
hearing
yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
yeah.
This one, like he should not know. I guess maybe he should still know some of this because he was there when the attack happened, but not that they went. That they're on a boat.
What do you mean?
they're
His
going
mom
somewhere.
was talking about them going south.
Yeah, that it was in her chambers that they were talking about that.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't in there with him. They all left.
It was like after she had left and slept for 3 days or whatever.
All right, fine. I believe you.
Interesting part here is a storm was gathering ahead of them, vast, dark, roaring, lashed by lightning, but somehow they would not see it. They could not see it.
That's the King's Landing.
So is it an actual storm, or is
Nah.
that like a dream metaphorical storm?
Yeah, that's they're headed into some problems bringing this knife into
Does
King's
the rest of
Landing
this- there's
with
not
some
much
serious allegations.
I guess there is a little bit of metaphorical at the end of the next bit, but not much. This whole dream, for the most part, is pretty straight literal, like everything it's saying. But see
I don't think so.
I don't know about that.
The next part gets a little further away, so we'll go to the
Well, the
next part.
tree looked at him.
I think the next two spots have.
I think the tree looking
Metaphorical
at him.
things.
You want to
kind
read
of-
the south one, Jeff? He looks
Sure.
south.
He looked south and saw the great blue-green rush of the trident. He saw his father pleading with the king, his face etched with grief. He saw Sansa crying herself to sleep at night, and he saw Arya watching in silence and holding her secrets hard in her heart. There were shadows all around them. One shadow was dark as ash, with the terrible face of a hound. Another was armored like the sun, golden and beautiful. Over them both loomed a giant in armor made of stone. But when he opened his visor, there was nothing inside but darkness and thick black blood.
All right, Kyle, what we got?
So I think this is further proof that the storm was metaphorical because these guys are showing up as shadows and like blackness
All right,
as
who
well.
are these guys? Do we know?
like the Hound, obviously, right?
Hound's
I mean,
the first one.
Yeah,
So okay, while I get what you're saying, this is like kind of metaphorical.
it definitely is.
He wears a hound helmet, so when it says
I know,
So
but
it was
he's-
like
face of a
literal.
hound,
I know, but he's
That's
dark
pretty
as
literal.
ash, and he was a shadow.
he wears
Yeah.
ash like dark ash steel, and he has a steel helmet in the shape of a hound. And Jamie wears golden armor, so armored like the sun, golden and beautiful.
You think it was
Both of those
Jamie
are
and
It's
not
either-
Jeffrey?
Yeah, it's either Jamie or
Joffrey?
Joffrey.
I think it's
Jeffrey.
well, I don't know. Jamie should be wearing white, but I think they
Yeah.
mentioned that he doesn't wear white in the last Sansa chapter. But he should be wearing white because he's in the
But
King's
he's
Guard,
not
so maybe
there,
it is Joffrey.
is he?
Jamie's with them. Yeah. Remember he was with them because he pushed Sansa out of Bran out of the tower.
Yeah, I didn't know he was with them at the Trident though.
I was just say, couldn't it have been somebody else? Like one of the what are those new guys? Didn't they say
I
one
think-
of
I
them came in
I
all
thought
white?
this was Jamie, but I guess you're right. Like he should be wearing.
Sir
it.
Isn't it like-
Barristan
Maybe
was.
it's
Yeah,
I think it's
Barristan?
Joffrey.
So is Barristan? Well, that's a question. I guess
I don't know
you're not
who
gonna be able
the
to
guy
answer.
in stone is though.
But is Barristan? Is he good? Like I said, it's a
They call
question.
Barristan the
Hang
bull
on.
Good
It's
is
irrelevant.
Nelson.
So like you can't answer that. Don't answer that. But I guess
It's
that's,
Nelson's
that's
choice
my,
to tell you or not.
No, don't. But so like that's I guess what I'm getting is that it seemed like one of them was a positive figure to me, and that's why I didn't think it was.
I was
That's
thinking
why I was
about,
getting more metaphorically.
I was thinking about him or Renly for one of these, but at least Barristan has to wear all white, so it kind of excludes him from
And
Okay.
Renly wears green.
basically all three of them. And
It sounds
Okay.
like
Renly, I guess,
people.
could be one.
It
of them.
sounds like people or Arya hates. So she hates the Hound,
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Joffrey, and I don't
Take
know
it back.
who the guy in stone would.
Well, you probably do. You just have to talk about it later. But so
Giant armor.
No, I mean, maybe Nelson and Glow, and they don't want to say it. I'm honestly.
I mean, there's
stuck on
somebody in
who that
mind,
would
but
be.
I wouldn't. There's definitely not like I'm 100%.
It's not a guarantee.
he
Yeah, I
shouldn't
agree
be
with
there.
that.
But I mean, like
Yeah.
the Mountain is a big dude. I know that much.
He is who I would guess this is, but I
Yeah,
again,
same.
like, I don't see how the black blood would fit with him, or even really the darkness. But yeah, like he just because he's big, that's who I would
Yeah.
lean towards.
That was my. I have no idea personally either. That was my guess.
Yeah.
So-
Next.
Yeah,
Alright.
I mean, I guess that is everything here. But again, just he knows what's going on here. Also, Arya secrets in her heart.
Yeah, I
What
don't know what
secrets
that
does she
is.
have? Everybody, like, she spilled the beans in front of everybody in front of the king. Like, what secret does she have left?
That's what I was saying. Like, just like hate for these people. I mean, I guess she hasn't really like
Met them yet.
Well, we
She's
never
met the
heard her
Hound,
side.
she's-
We
Yeah.
never heard her story, so she might have lied about
I guess.
sword fighting or something, keeping
Yeah.
it secret from everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, even
And that's why he was like, "All right, Sansa's coming up. He knows what the real story is. Let's go."
I mean, even the timetable we know is fucked up here. So like, more shit could have happened to Arya because
Yeah.
he's about to say like
this
John's
is-
at the wall,
this
and we
is
haven't had
actually-
a John Wall chapter.
This
Well,
is actually
and-
like a week later too. This is like a week
Well,
after.
the other weird thing
Ned
is that
kills
so
Lady.
Ned's pleading with the king, but Sansa is also crying herself to sleep because
Right.
Lady's dead. So
Yeah.
you're right. There's a little melding of time there.
Yeah. All right. So then next, he real quick says just a name drops of a few places across the Narrow Sea: Dothraki Sea, Vase Dothrak, which got mentioned earlier. I think that is like the end goal destination for Dany right now. Lands of the Jade Sea and Ashai. Again, just name drops of places. Glow Lakes Ashai. They mentioned it a few times throughout the books.
Isn't it Ass Hay?
Assay, yeah.
That's say.
They say Ashai in the books.
Ass high.
Or in
I'm
the-
sure.
In the show, I like that.
Ass Hay.
Yes, hey.
All right, then he looks north. Who wants to read the north one?
I'll read it.
All right.
Finally, he looked north. He saw the wall shining like blue crystal, and his bastard brother John sleeping alone in a cold bed, his skin growing pale and hard as the memory of all warmth fled from him. And he looked past the wall, past endless forests cloaked in snow, past the frozen shore and the great blue-white rivers of ice, and the dead plains where nothing grew or lived. North and north and north he looked, to the curtain of light at the end of the world, and then beyond that curtain. He looked deep into the heart of winter, and then he cried out, afraid, and the heat of his tears burned on his cheeks. "Now you know," the crow whispered as it sat on his shoulder. "Now you know why you must live." "Why?" Bran said, not understanding, falling. "Because winter is coming."
So, I mean, we know what's north because of the prologue, and even Kyle a little more than he probably should because of the show.
White Army. Army of Whites.
Yeah. So that's probably what this is foreshadowing, but he doesn't actually see any.
Right. He
Yeah.
doesn't even mention anything.
He just sees like really, really fucking coldness to the point where when he starts crying, his tears are like burning on his face
yeah.
because he's so cold. And then the crow says, "Winter is coming."
Just an awesome throwback to a conversation with him and his dad.
Did that happen already?
It's coming up.
Yeah. So what happens? Bran looks at the crow, and the crow has a third eye now,
Yeah.
like in between its other two eyes, and it was full of terrible knowledge. Bran looks down. There was nothing below him but snow, cold, and death. Frozen wasteland where jagged blue-white spires waited to embrace him. They flew up like spears. He saw the bones of 1,000 other dreamers impaled upon their points. He was desperately afraid. And this is when he hears that conversation. Jeff?
Can a man still be brave if he's afraid? He heard his own voice saying, small and far away, and his father's voice replied to him.
"That is the only time a man can be brave."
Now Bran the crow urged, "Choose, fly or die." Death reached for him, screaming. Bran spread his arms and flew. So he remembers
Bran should have died. He should just took his life there and just fall.
So he remembers the conversation he had with his dad, and then immediately starts flying.
He became brave, Nels.
He's
Yeah,
got
Nels.
stuff to do.
Can a man be brave when he's afraid?
I don't know what to say here that's not spoilery.
So, like,
Don't say anything. Ask Kyle his opinion.
winter's coming. He needed to be brave. So he self-actualized his fucking powers. Who knows?
Flying in a dream,
Kyle.
anybody can fly in a dream. How's that a power?
Kyle, what do you think? What do you think about what's going on right now?
I mean, he's gained some sort of supernatural power.
So, I mean, right after this, the bird starts poking him in the forehead, right between his eyes.
Giving him the third eye.
So is there like a thing about third eyes?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, come
dog.
on. You know, remember being in elementary school and your teacher being like, all right, close your eyes. Like, I'm gonna
Open
read you
your
a story.
third
Like,
eye.
open your third eye.
No.
Like, paint a picture.
I don't
You
know
ever
what
heard
hippie
like
elementary school you
What?
went
That
to,
just
but
means like in your
I never
imagination.
heard
you have like
that.
a mental
No,
eye
it's the
where
third eye.
you can see, like, you can think of images that aren't in front
So
of
your
you.
imagination.
That's your third eye.
Your imagination, Kyle.
That's been said all the
Kyle,
time.
re-explain.
If you've never been told that, you're a fool.
Kyle,
The
explain.
mind's eye, I've heard that called, but so in the third eye,
Kyle
isn't it,
has
like,
a whispering eye.
What else is the third eye from? Like, what else references that? Like, why should I know that this is the thing?
Because people have said
I don't
it to
know.
you
I've
before. I don't know
definitely
what the fuck are you talking about?
I've definitely known a reference of a third eye
isn't
before.
that why they? It's like a state of higher consciousness. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
chakra. That's what I thought.
Paint a fucking mental picture. Someone told you to do that while listening. That's
You're
what you
not
fucking
talking
do.
about. I think Jeff is on a totally different page
Nelson,
than us.
I mean, I didn't have
Yeah.
teachers say it, but I could imagine them saying it.
It is. So it's like it allows you out of body experiences, precognition. It's like a chakra and like allows you to see the supernatural. Essentially, it's
Are you looking it up on Wikipedia right
yeah. No, because I wanted to make sure I was right before I started saying
Chakra.
Hindu and Buddhism. Like, isn't that part of why they put the gem and stuff on their forehead?
I don't know. That's racist.
I have no idea.
It's not racist. It was a
That's
question.
not racist. That's a question of reason. I like that.
Yeah.
I don't
So
know
it's
too much about
here-
Hindu, but that sounds right.
Here's what Wikipedia says. The third eye is a mystical and esoteric concept of a speculative invisible eye, usually depicted as located on the forehead, which provides perception beyond ordinary sight.
Okay.
And usually taught in elementary school when you're supposed to visualize.
Because I was
reading.
watching a Game of Thrones theory like a while ago, and it said like they said something about the third eye being like a thing, and I was like, why would I know that? Like, what else is that from that I should know that? If I didn't have a hippie reading teacher in second grade,
It's not having a hippie reading.
Dude, I don't know
It's having
how
a
you
good
didn't know that
reading teacher.
concept.
All right, I don't know. So
Nelson was
Camp.
sheltered as a child. He only ate freaking Cheerios plain growing up.
I had bananas in my Cheerios, and maybe some sugar.
Dude, I
on
used
them.
to dump sugar on my Cheerios.
Yeah, maybe some sugar.
Yeah, so here you go.
It was so
the bindi,
good.
The bindi is
Oh, it's
associated
Rice Krispies.
with the third eye.
I don't know. What
Is
that
that-
is.
The
is the
bindi
gem
is
the
the
bindi?
red, the red
Oh.
bindi. So
Look at you and your cultural
Yeah,
awareness.
you're all,
Yes.
you're all over it.
Nelson just said it was racism.
it's
All right, so right after this, Bran wakes up.
No, he sees a smoke show in his third eye.
No,
Yeah,
he
he
sees a
does.
serving woman.
Yeah, she could still be hot. No
With
one
long
said she
black
was ugly.
hair.
Come on.
Yeah, I agree with Jeff. She's definitely sexy.
Most people call every female in Westeros, like in the book, like most characters will call any female, like a random female, that wench.
Common.
Yeah, that wench. Jeff's like, that smoke show.
A common wench.
She was hot, I know it.
there's like one sentence about
She was
her.
a handmaiden in
She had
Winterfell.
black
She's
hair.
definitely hot.
She
Come
had
on.
black hair.
Long
She had
black hair, and he knew her from somewhere, and that was it.
So
That's all they said about her.
he probably wakes up screaming.
Knew her from his wet dreams. Boom.
No, Bran woke up just calm as
Well,
fuck.
she freaks out. She screams and drops her plate, doesn't she?
Well,
Yeah,
she freaks
Bran-
out.
Bran
Yeah,
already.
because this dude's
What,
been asleep
Bran just
for
like
like
sits up like
a
a
fortnight.
scary movie, like somebody coming alive.
No, his eyes are probably open. He's looking around, like where the at first he's like, where the fuck am I?
Well,
It's like,
yeah,
am
he's
I in
just
my
falling
room?
through the sky.
Yeah, he thought he was still.
He's like confused. He's like, where am I? Like, what the fuck? And she's like, oh my god.
So she runs away, screaming, "He's awake! He's awake! He's awake!" And his forehead is still burning or between his eyes, wherever, was still burning from where the bird was pecking at him.
Pecking.
So he like checks it, but it's all good. There's nothing there. He realizes he feels really weak, and then it says he tries to get out of bed, but nothing happened.
Can't move.
Duh.
Paralyzed.
And then there was movement beside the bed, and something landed lightly on his legs. He felt nothing. A pair of yellow eyes looked into his own, shining like the sun. The window was open and it was cold in the room, but the warmth that came off the wolf enfolded him like a hot bath. His pup, Bran realized. Or was it? He was so big now. He reached out to pet him, his hand trembling like a leaf. When his brother Rob burst into the room, breathless from his dash up the tower steps, the direwolf was licking Bran's face. Bran looked up calmly. "His name is Summer," he said. That's the end of the chapter.
So I was hoping it was the crow at first.
So one correction to your reading there, Nelson. You got to say poop.
Pup.
Direwolf
Is that
pup.
my poop?
That's my direwolf pup. All right. Final thoughts.
Yeah, Cal.
I mean, Bran's up.
Bran's up.
He did some crazy shit. He can see stuff.
So what's the next chapter? Is what Catelyn, but she's
Yeah.
not with him anymore. So
Is it Catelyn?
No, yeah,
Oh,
and
this guy.
yeah, it is.
she's on a boat.
On a boat.
This is a good Catelyn chapter.
All right. So what's in store for Bran next, Kyle? We're gonna start getting predictions.
I don't know.
That's gonna be a new thing we're adding at the end of every podcast. We're getting predictions from Kyle.
He's gonna be one with the crows.
He's gonna
It's
start
gonna- that
tending the
crow.
rookery. Do they
Yeah.
use crows or do they use ravens? Is it different?
Ravens.
So they're different. Fuck. Yeah, never mind.
I don't know what you're talking about, but all right.
To like send messages, like
Oh yeah.
if he
Got
tends
it.
a rookery, he's not gonna
Yeah.
be with crows. He'll be with ravens. Come on,
Yeah.
use your head one time.
You're the one that said rookery.
That's what it's
Yeah.
called.
I know, but I'm saying you're the one.
But
bringing it
then I
up.
talked myself off the ledge, and you guys were not following. All right. So you got nothing. You have no actual predictions. What's going on,
I
Bran?
mean, like, what do you mean?
So you
I
got
don't-
Bran
I
and
don't-
Rob together in Winterfell, awake now. What's going on? Also, you guys know
What's gonna happen? He's got a big secret to tell.
I didn't realize how
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I didn't realize how fucking long Bran was awake. What chapter did Bran fall? Bran 2? He's been awake for 3 months. 3 full months.
Sleep, you mean?
Yeah, he's been out for 3 full months.
Just surviving off of honey. We knew it.
Dude, that's a crazy amount of time to not be.
Honey is the only thing that can keep you alive.
It's weird. Honey, I looked it up after that chapter, and honey can nourish you.
You didn't.
We looked it up during
have-
the fucking
Yeah.
podcast.
honey,
It was like an
look it
hour
up during-
conversation.
Kyle
on
is
it.
a beist,
Theist,
an atheist.
atheist, a
Are we gonna
rapist.
get honey for Christmas?
Ooh, I'd like.
We
some
didn't get
actual
any
honey.
this year. I'm sorry.
Fuck!
I didn't do
What?
so hot. I'll explain it some other night when we have time. But
It was too
Is it,
cold
is
the
it
bees
due to
died.
global warming?
yeah. No, I have no idea. But so I think it's gonna take him a while to figure out what happened. I think he's got parts of it. To answer your question, Jeff, from before. But I think
Oh.
he's gonna figure it out, and he's gonna tell it his side.
To
We'll
Rob.
see what happens. Yeah.
Nice.
But all right. Well,
All right, well, we're heading into the spoiler section. We're on a time crunch today, so we'll see Kyle later. Adios, Kyle, and we'll see you
See
in
you,
the next
Kyle.
one.
Bye bye, Cal.
all right. Later on, guys.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
Bye,
See you
bye,
later,
Kyle.
Kyle. It was nice hanging with you today. And now back to the spoiler section of Bran 3. There's a lot of development in this one, so we might have a lot of sideways talks from Nelson here. Here we go, boys. Let's start it off.
All right, well, why don't you guys start off with anything you got? I actually don't have anything in mind. I thought
You
most
don't
of the
have
stuff was
anything in mind.
I've
thought
got
most of the stuff was
one thing.
straightforward.
I've got one thing. I thought maybe when I said like, "Oh, Bran has a huge secret, Kyle. What do you think he's gonna do with it?" He says when the crow says,
That's not important right now or whatever.
"Huh?"
He says like that's not important right
Yeah.
now. Put
The
that
crow
away for
took
later.
to the air, calling, "Not that!" It shrieked at him. "Forget that. You don't need it now. Put it aside. Put it away." Which, when is he going to drop that bomb? Like,
Like,
oh,
we saw that in
Jamie.
season 8, but we
Right.
have no idea. in the
Like,
show.
oh, Jamie,
None
I
of us.
remember seeing you push me out of a window.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, he forgets, doesn't he? Like, when they ask him about it, he's like, I
He
don't
never
remember.
mentions. Yeah.
Did he forget, or is he consciously forgetting?
I think.
Like, oh,
I think
I
this.
don't know.
I think the crow put it in the back of his mind, like, all right,
Yeah.
we're not dealing with this now. It'll be too.
Too much to handle.
Yeah, I think in this dream, it's him consciously forgetting about it.
Well, also maybe the crow doesn't want it because it would instantly start a war.
So
and maybe
Crow's
they want the
three-eyed raven
war to
here,
start
right? This
later?
is- Oh, real quick, Crow's three-eyed raven here. Are we all
Yeah.
saying that for
What's
sure?
that?
It has to be. It
Yeah,
has
I
to
mean,
be.
come on.
All right. So, what did you say, Glow? What was your question?
could the three-eyed raven be hiding it because he doesn't want a war right away? Because if he reveals that Jaime pushed him out the window, the war would happen right away. Like Ned would be shipping out of
Boston.
King's Landing as soon as possible to get away from them,
Shipping out to Boston.
and then starting a war right away. But
so,
no, he
okay.
wants to develop it a little bit more, get Ned out of the picture, and then have the war start.
Agreed.
I don't know if the Three-Eyed Raven has anything to do with Ned going away. It seems like if you're the Three-Eyed Raven, what do you want? Your main goal, get Bran to me.
Yeah, and if his parents
Best way
are
to
around,
do
they're
that-
not going to allow them to do that.
Okay, so the best way to do that is empty the castle. The castle gets emptied when the war starts. If you can start the war right now, they're leaving. They're doing the same thing. They're leaving Bran behind. Rob's going south. Calling the banners going south. You know what I mean? Like everything's happening right away.
Yeah, but they don't have OSHA. They don't. He doesn't have the
only
caretakers.
thing is Robert isn't dead yet. That's the only thing that makes that war completely different.
And if
Like
they
the
leave the
Lannisters-
castle, if Rob leaves the castle, yeah, maybe they do leave.
like
him
the only
behind,
thing
but-
is, if Robert is dead, then this is 100% because the Lannisters hold King's Landing. If Bran tells them it's King's Landing versus the North, Rob calls the banners. Ned's dead instantly. Kat's dead instantly because she's in King's Landing right now. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Yeah.
but she gets out of King's Landing.
Yeah, but
no one knows she's in
Yeah,
King's
but
Landing.
if Bran says it right
She's
now,
not in King's
Littlefinger's
Landing,
and
she's on the ship.
Varys, no, she's about to be in King's Landing. Next chapter, she lands in King's Landing.
Yeah, but again, that's like a month later.
I'm not sure what time it is, but whatever.
At least a fortnight.
I think it hinders some of his plans if he does that, so that's why he hid that memory from Bran.
I'm not. I think you're probably right. Right, there has to be a reason he's hiding it, but I don't get why. It seems to me, at least on the surface, that a war right now. I think Robert being alive is the big difference. If Robert's dead, then the war is a lot better because you get what you want. You get straight Lannister versus Stark conflict. If Robert's alive, you have other interference. Whoever gets Robert's back, you know.
Oh yeah, and also Bran's story puts Jaime and Cersei having sex together, so Rob's going to be like, "Fuck the Lannisters! Everyone's going to team up against
exactly.
the Lannisters.
So
There's
the
not
Lannisters
going to be
will
a
just
war
get
of the.
crushed. Yeah.
There's not going to be a war of the Five Kings."
Yeah, they just get crushed. Okay, so I see that makes sense of why he hit it.
But why does the Three-Eyed Raven need a War of the Five Kings?
I'm not sure. I think all he wants is to empty Winterfell, so Bran's the only one there, so he can get Bran out easier.
Yeah,
There's
but
a big
also
theory.
I
That
think
makes
there's
sense.
something with the Five Kings too. Maybe fucking Jon Snow becoming king eventually, if the Rhaegar Lyanna thing is real.
If that's true, though, he wouldn't need to. He would just be the right flair. They people wouldn't need
Baratheon would try to
dead.
kill him right away. There would be
Yeah, but we're talking about Jon Snow here, your boy. He's not gonna let some fucking Baratheon
know,
kill
dude.
him.
Dude, he's 14. Baratheon's definitely killing Jon if he finds out right now.
Which Baratheon?
yeah. And there's
Robert.
gonna be assassins
He's
and
not
everything.
going north to the fucking wall.
He would get him instead.
He would send fucking.
It would happen like
Assassins.
7 years. It would happen like 7 years down.
I don't know about that, dude. He has assassins going across the narrow sea to get Dany.
All you have to do is fucking.
Yeah, but Danny's too hot to kill. We know that.
You know what we're saying.
Dude, all you have to do is pay a lowlife that's in the fucking cells of King's Landing and say, "Hey, I'll
Any
give you a
assassin
pardon
that
if you
looks
kill
at
Jon
Dany-
Snow."
Any assassin that looks at Danny is like, okay, I'll kill her. You're a fool. Okay, come on.
So there's one theory that a big time theory guy on YouTube, Preston Jacobs, talked about, and I talk about his stuff all the time. One was that Bloodraven was influencing. You guys are gonna go. Jeff's gonna hate this. Bloodraven was influencing Ramsay and Jojen, and potentially Theon. All of them to tell them all, because remember he tells Jojen that the waves are crashing over Winterfell.
Mm-hmm.
If he tells all of them that, right? Like this theory is that basically Bloodraven tells Jojen, Theon, and Ramsay, gives them all that same message to get them all to be at Winterfell at the same time. It gives Theon the idea to attack Winterfell. Jojen knows that it's coming, so he can tell Bran. And
But
Ramsay knows about
they
it, so
stay
he can
there?
get captured.
They wait. They get Bran's there when they get captured.
Yeah, because they don't flee. But Ramsay's there. Ramsay's also there, and like hit the again. We'll talk about it when we get there. But the reason Ramsay's there like makes no sense. Like he had to have known something was coming in order to be in the situation he was in, which is the reason people think Ramsay had some insider information about the attack. Whatever. If the Three-Eyed Raven had part of this planned out to be like that, basically like get a small garrison at the castle so that you can manipulate a smaller amount of people, right? Just 3 people: Jojen, Theon, Reek, Ramsay, instead of like having to deal with huge armies, right? Because Theon takes the
Okay.
castle with like 10 men. So it just seems like getting everybody out of the castle is his first move, right? If you're Blood Raven, regardless of
Right,
if you
'cause you
think the
want
Theon
Bran to
thing is
leave.
one, you want because you want Bran gone, and
Well,
no
the
one's gonna
first
let that
move,
happen.
he needs Jojen to meet Bran. If he doesn't get them two together, it's like
Well,
he's got
Jojen and
to be
That
Nero
feeding.
helps.
travel to Winterfell, don't they?
Yeah,
Right,
they do.
he's got to be feeding Jojen like dream on dream on dream on dream right
But
now.
why can't he just do that? Why can't he just do that to Bran? Because Bran gets this dream.
What's Bran gonna do? Fucking tell Hodor to take him to the wall? Like he needs to be convinced to
He
go.
needs. You're saying he needs companion. Okay.
And Bran probably needed a traumatic experience to open up his third eye or something, too.
I believe that, but like the whole Bran needs to be convinced thing. Jojen's just as old as Bran.
But Jojen's had these
Jojen's been
dreams
seeing
all
these
his
dreams
life.
his
He
whole
had
life,
that
yeah.
power.
Come on, bro.
Okay.
Use your third. Use
That's-
your third.
that's
eye.
why
Think
he's
outside
Jojen.
the fucking box.
Okay.
This is your problem. Is you only think about what other people have told you. You don't have any
That is
third
not
eye.
true.
You have no third eye. You don't have an original thought in your body.
How many times have I FaceTimed you?
You don't have an
and been
original
like, dude,
thought
I
in your
just thought
body."
about this.
No.
Aegon, blah blah blah.
It'd
blah,
be
blah.
like, dude, I just heard a video of this guy
you
talking
get
about
those
this.
too.
What do you
get
think?
some of those too. A little
Why
bit
do
of
I
both.
get the FaceTime?
You don't have an iPhone.
Because you don't have an
You can
original thought.
Snapchat. You can Snapchat fucking FaceTime.
No, we don't.
And then I'll get all
Grow up.
4
Droids
pixels
can
of you.
FaceTime. I can FaceTime other droids. I can't FaceTime you guys.
Shut
Grow
up.
up.
Droids suck.
iPhones suck. Fuck off.
Grow up, Glo.
All right, so back down to some less deep stuff. He sees Maester Lewin on his balcony studying the sky with a polished bronze tube and frowning at notes he saw in a book. Why is Lewin frowning?
He probably just sees winter coming.
Yeah, winter's fucking coming. They just sneak it in without even... They sneak in winter's coming without even saying fucking winter's coming. George R. R. Martin's a genius. Rob, Hodor at the anvil, Kyle
I mean,
hit
how
it-
does that
hit nail in the
say
head.
winter's coming? Maybe he just couldn't find his favorite star that day.
Shut the fuck up, Jeff.
Honestly, what the fuck do you mean?
Use your head one time. That's your line.
What's he looking up in the sky and seeing? How do you see winter coming?
It's
How the fuck
it's like
do you
a-
see winter coming?
The stars.
Yeah,
That's
dude,
how
they
it
got
fucking
like
is in
stars and
fucking-
shit. What are you talking about? That's how they
That's
told
what
it
I'm
in the
saying.
old
When
days.
these
It's-
constellations are shown in the sky, that means the Earth
Right.
is tilting this way and
It's also
away
a
from the
mid-fucking
sun.
day.
Glow's a
so-
fucking physicist. Listen to Glow.
Didn't say it was night. It was
I was not an
daytime.
astrophysicist.
Shut up, Glow.
I took
Take-
stars and
just-
galaxies.
Shut up and take it. Oh my god.
Jeff, you're wrong.
All right, Weirwood. What do you think about the Weirwood?
Fuck that weirwood.
Weirwood looks up at him. Glow.
So, is it controlled by children of the forest, or is it
That's the
fucking
thing.
its own entity?
if the crow is Bloodraven, then why is the Weirwood giving him a chill look? Just because, well, I mean, Bran. We know that Bran
Just
is
to freak
afraid
him
of the
out.
It's
We
not a
gotta
chill
freak him
look. It's
out.
just a knowingly look. Like, all right, I see you there, dog.
We got to get this kid's attention.
What did you say last time? Respect. Oh no, you said corn. Plant
If you
corn.
plant corn, you grow corn.
That's not what I was going to say. There's a quote that says like
What the
respect.
fuck's that from?
Respect gets respect or something.
Where's that from? Or the one old coach I'd coach with right now says it all the time.
What's the respect?
Give respect
But
to
what's
get
it mean?
respect.
There's something like
If
that.
you plant corn, you get corn.
Yeah, I don't fucking know what that
It
means.
means
Don't
like the
expect
apple
to
doesn't
get
fall from the tree.
Right. Don't expect to get fucking potatoes if you planted corn. You're gonna get corn. It's pretty much like how you raise your kid. If you're an asshole, you're gonna raise an asshole.
It's when they have recruits on campus
gotcha.
and their parents are both fatsos and they're like, the coach will nudge Jeff and be like, plant corn.
or a parent's up in the stand like cursing and yelling and being an asshole, and the
the
kid's
kids
an
get
asshole
in
too.
trouble all the time. Yeah.
You plant corn, you get corn.
I got it now. That's cool. I like that.
Glow, you are slow for a physicist.
I
All right.
never heard of that
He's a
saying
fucking
before. I don't know what
project-
it
Yeah,
meant.
but
a
you can't
project
just. I heard it
manager.
for the first time last time Jeff dropped the podcast, and I laughed because
I don't
put the
remember
pieces
it.
together.
I'm sorry.
Oh my god! All right, so we got nothing on the
I
Weirwood.
was hammered last time.
No, I think it's just like, hey, remember me? You're scared of me because I was looking at you. Guess what? I was, motherfucker.
I was looking at you. Okay.
Yeah.
To the mother with the knife. The storm is the storm. I don't think they actually hit a real storm.
I think it's a literal. I think it's a metaphorical storm.
Yeah. right.
Metaphorical storm.
all the shit.
So when I was reading it, I thought
Yeah.
they were going back to Winterfell, and I was like, all right, they're gonna hit fucking the storm to come, like fucking all that bullshit. But I fucked up. But King's Landing is just fucked up, I guess.
I just know the first time I read this chapter, I read through this chapter probably in like 10 seconds and didn't think anything of any of this.
I know.
I read it so
That's the thing.
fast.
I think Kyle's gonna get a lot more than we got on our first read-throughs because
He fucking
'Cause
should.
we're also
We're pointing everything
analyzing-
out.
Yeah.
You think? I probably didn't even think of like the Dark Shadow Wolf as the Hound. I probably just thought it was like the Stark sigil, like Stark's first Lannister.
Yeah.
Lannisters.
So yeah, that's the next one in the south. He looks at the Trident, Father, King, Sansa, Arya, the Golden. We talked about the Golden and Beautiful. I didn't have anything to hide. I thought this was Jaime at first, but maybe not because he should be wearing white. What did you guys think?
Yeah, I think it's Joffrey. I think she's creating her list. I think it's her list of who.
Well,
she's
no,
gonna
it says a
kill.
giant made out of stone, and who really could that be besides?
I mean, she's
Mountain
the mountain's
or
gonna be on
Ilan
her
Payne.
list soon. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it was Ilan Payne, just like a stone-faced guy. He's not a giant, but he has no emotions. He just kind of is a blank canvas.
Well,
of
the
a
only
person.
thing, the person that makes you think of the most would be Sir Robert Strong, because he's the Mountain,
And he's big. Well, Ilan Payne also
but
says
he's got like darkness and blood inside him.
Yeah, I honestly don't know. Maybe it's just I don't know.
Ilan Payne also has killed how many people for the king, so that makes sense why his visor would be filled full blood. Same thing with Mountain though.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. And Kyle was like, "Oh, I'm sure you guys will talk about it next." Like, I have no fucking clue what
Yeah,
they're talking about.
he's
Like,
gonna say that a lot. We're gonna be like, yeah, sure, and then nothing.
Yeah.
Drop these places, and then they say a shy by the shadow where dragons stirred beneath the sunrise.
I think it's kind of cool that the dragons are flying around.
So there's
and
actual
shit like that, or-
dragons. There's
actual dragons.
There's dragons besides Drogon, Viserys, and
No.
Rhaegal.
No, I think he's just seeing maybe he's just
Dany
seeing
and Viserys?
Danny's dragon. Yeah. No, I think he's seeing Danny's dragons. That there will
So
be
he's
dragons.
seeing to the end of the book here. He's seeing in the future. Because nothing else here is
Well,
from the
there is a
future.
weird time.
That's
thing.
something I was going to point out
There's
to you
a
guys.
weird time thing though, with Ned pleading to Robert.
I'm
This is a
just
week
saying.
later. That is weird because this is a week later. But could be
No,
tweeting
I
about
just
something
think
else
it's.
about Dany.
I think it's like a metaphorical thing with the storm. Like this is like, all right, there will be dragons again. They're
I don't
gonna
know.
be okay. I mean, I think it maybe has something to do with the red comet that's coming. Like, doesn't that?
The one reason I'm
fucking-
skeptical is because a lot of the theories that I've heard say that the Three-Eyed Raven never predicts anything in the future. He tells people of stuff that happens at a different time, and it makes it seem like the future because, like, if you do something in one day in Westeros, and then I give somebody near me a dream about it that night, the next morning they'll tell people about the dream, and then that day the Raven will show up. You know what I mean? Like, because communication is not instant, you can give someone a dream after something's happened, but before information's got to them. Like, think about how long it takes shit to get to the wall. If you give John a dream about something, that Raven's not showing up for a week. He'll think it was like premonition, but it's actually just he knew about it earlier. And that happens a lot in the book, so that's why I'm skeptical that this would be the future. I think there's actually dragons in a shot.
Yeah, but it
No,
also
come
shows
on.
a
There's
storm
nothing,
at
there's
King's
nothing
Landing.
keeping
though.
them to a
Dude, the
shot.
shot
They
is
don't
out
see
there.
the store coming.
There's still nothing keeping them in the shy for one dragon not to fly elsewhere.
They don't see the storm coming. Okay, Glow. Stuff like that is something that you don't have to really. That could be a prediction, right? The whoever's giving the dream can predict that something bad's going to happen. Pretty good prediction.
Because nothing bad does happen when she goes.
And
down
that's
there.
like a huge like. I'm surprised because like you took like some philosophy stuff, right? In college. I thought
Glow
Glow
didn't
took
do
philosophy.
shit.
There's there's stuff in philosophy that says like prophecy. People who do like palm readings and like fortune tellers, their main gimmick is
They're vague.
everything is really vague, so that anything can fit, right? So when you say a storm's coming, what is the storm, Glow? What is the storm that they're talking about? You've read these books. What's the storm?
Yeah, it's not an exact.
Exactly.
answer,
There's no
but-
exact answer. You can attribute it to anything. So it's really hard to tell like what stuff is in these. So when you're think about if you're giving someone a dream, you can just throw in something like, oh, there's a storm coming they didn't see, and then later it fits. Like Bran, Bran gets one later. It says like, you're gonna be you and the Frey boys both get served dinner, and your dinner's better, but you're unhappy with it, and the phrase is bad, but they're happy with it. And then they get a letter about Robb winning a battle and a Frey guy dying. And the two Frey guys were happy because they think they're higher in the line of succession, and Bran was sad because even though Robb won, he's further away from Winterfell or something. So like that's what Bran attributes it to, but it makes no sense. Bran probably would have been happy about Robb winning that battle if it wasn't for him getting the dream the night before. You know what I mean? Like that kind of bullshit.
Okay.
So that's just why like dreams are screwy.
Stupid.
But I'm gonna keep trying to point out. I'm gonna keep trying to point out that nothing is like insight into the future. It's all just transference of knowledge across distance.
Sounds good.
The conversation with his father. So I think this is Bran actually warging into the past or something, right? This is him actually, like Jeff said, when I was listening, like this is him actually using his powers and not flying because he's in a dream. It's not his actual powers. I think he figured out how to do.
I don't know
some
about that.
warg stuff.
I think it's the same.
I
thing
think it's
as
the three-eyed raven.
The raven bringing that picture of Jamie. It's just him.
I don't know if the Raven brought the picture of the Jamie though.
Well, something happened. I think it's something very similar.
Because after this, I think
Bran don't know shit right
after
now.
this, Bran's going to start having his wolf dreams. Bran starts having his wolf dreams after this.
Yeah, but this is also like a reoccurring. Like I feel like Bran's thought about this since he fell. Like it didn't happen much, too long ago for it to not be in his mind.
What do you mean? I don't know what you mean.
While he dreams, like he still is. That conversation's still fresh in his mind. It's not like, did he really need to travel back in Three-Eyed Raven thoughts to hear his dad say this?
It is weird because he hears it, right? It says, "Can a man still be brave?" Or can a man still be brave if he's afraid? He heard his own voice saying, "Small and far away."
Again, if you use your third eye, if we right now, I can hear my voice by myself.
You know what we're saying, dude.
And you need to hear what I'm saying too. I'm saying
he's not talking right now, and his father's not talking right now. How's he going to hear their own voices currently?
You can hear. I can hear your voice in my head without you talking. I know what you sound like.
I don't know, dude.
I can go back. If you go back on a
memory,
I agree
with both of you.
If you go back on a memory, I can. It's not like
I'm Raven planted it.
It's not like everything's in my mind. Everything's in my voice when I think about a memory. I can remember what my friend sounded like.
But think about how many conversations people remember in these books. Like people remember conversations they had like years ago all the time, and it's just like it shows up in a paragraph without quotes.
Dude,
it shows up in a paragraph without quotes. I'm saying the way it's presented in the book. People be like, "Oh, I remember when this person did this, and I said this to them, and they said this to me." But when it happens like this, and it like calls out that he heard their voice saying, it like stands out.
Okay, I don't think it's a big deal.
I don't know. I think he was actually like using his powers to ward the crow or see something, and maybe it's like Lo said, the Three-Eyed Raven was injecting it, but I don't think it was injection. I think it was like he did what he does later on, where he like takes Bran to places with him and take him back to see that moment, something like that, to make Bran was like passing a step here.
I mean, we don't even know that that's what his Three-Eyed Raven powers. I guess we do. Do we?
I'm not sure about the book, but I think so.
I don't think so.
No,
we don't even know.
Okay. Last part, Summer. Glow, got anything?
Summer sucks.
Summer, yellow eyes,
and warm,
bright as the sun.
I thought that was cool. How it was warm. How Summer made Bran warm. Also, a good way to make.
I think that's also a word connection, though.
That's how he was getting warm. He was like feeling warm because he was feeling what Summer was feeling.
Yeah,
I can see it. Summer's awesome.
Stupid thought.
Summer's dope wolf. And Bran's paralyzed.
Do you think Summer's gonna do something more than just stop whites from attacking him?
Yeah,
I hope so.
I think Summer's
That'd be stupid if that's a.
I think someone's gonna say Summer is coming.
I hope Summer doesn't die.
Somebody's gonna say like Winter's coming, and then Bran's gonna say Summer is coming, and then whoosh, Wolf comes out of nowhere.
What if Summer and Ghost have to fight at the end?
Happen. Summer and who? Ghost. That'd be sick.
Why? No.
Well,
that'd be gay.
I'd
have to root for Summer.
I don't think it'd be gay.
I'd definitely root for Summer. Summer's way better than Ghost.
Stupid bullshit.
Ghost is cool.
I mean, Ghost is way cooler than Summer.
Nymeera's the only one cooler than Ghost. You're right. I don't know. Summer's cool.
I think you might be right about that. I was thinking about it the other day, but still.
All right.
Being a silent ghost with red eye or dog with red eyes is sick.
Yeah.
Scare people by just showing your teeth. My only thing is, what the fuck secrets is Arya talking about?
Yeah, I don't know.
She's gonna
Does
kill
anybody know?
people.
The only secret I can think of that
Hatred.
everybody probably knows it now, unless you said that she lied about somebody, is that she's doing sword fighting, right?
No, hatred.
That's
Hatred.
probably the only thing.
Because what's weird, maybe I don't know how it goes, but in the show, Ned finds out about her sword fighting not until King's Landing. Remember, he finds out about the sword, and when they're in her bedroom. I don't remember if it happens that way in the books, but everybody should know
I
that
don't
she's
remember
been doing
either.
sword fighting now after she told her story about her sword fighting with Micah.
I think this is what happens.
Sansa
I know
had
how
no
it
idea
happens.
when she saw the bruises.
I know how it happens. Sansa and Arya get in a fight, and she goes back to her room. She gets sent back to her room, and when he comes to see her, she's up there fucking like swinging her sword like she's gonna
Okay,
kill.
we get it, but that doesn't matter. What
That's how fucking Ned finds it.
Okay,
What
but
do
I'm
you
saying,
mean?
does that happen in the books?
That's exactly what fucking happens in the book. That's why I just said it.
But shouldn't Ned already know she's doing sword fighting after she just got in trouble by hitting Joffrey after she was sword fighting with Micah? Like, how does this
He
surprise
should
him?
know, but that's what I'm saying. I don't think that was a part of her story, and that's one of the secrets she's holding.
All right, I can see that, Glow. Anything else?
Nope.
I am good on my end.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. We'll see everybody in Catelyn 4 next time.
Cat 4.
Jeff's favorite chapter.
We're counting down till we don't have to read about her anymore.
Until we see her as Lady Stoneheart.
All right, we'll see everybody
Well,
later.
bye now.